Okay. I am Molly Thibault from Southport Island, Maine. This is a quote by René Dumas that Louisa shared with us at Closing Circle. You cannot stay on the summit forever. You have to come down again. So why bother in the first place? Just this. What is above knows what is below, but what is below does not know what is above. One climbs, one sees. One descends, one sees no longer, but one has seen. There is an art in conducting oneself in the lower regions by the memory of what one saw higher up. When one can no longer see, one can still at least still know. Not only does this quote sum up my CSG experience, I will be using it to frame my manifesto. Before I came to CSG, it was like being on the bottom of a mountain. I was below, not knowing what was above. I had a lot of interest in leadership and becoming a better leader in my community. I first started by applying to the Mayan Youth Leaders Alliance, which is a year-long program to improve your leadership skills. There I got inspired to have a stronger positive impact on the world around me, and CSG seemed like the perfect place to do that. I am inspired by the fact that youth are just as powerful as adults, if not more powerful. Nothing pisses me off more than an adult that doesn't share the same view. I really saw this in my own life when I was making a music video with 5 friends to enter into a contest. We were working with someone from our local broadcasting channel to make it. He didn't even act like we were kids. He viewed our capabilities on the same level as his. And it was so empowering. It inspired me to be that kind of adult in the future. This is one of the ways that I will make an impact on the world and the youth around me. Community was not something that I was coming to CSG for. I came for leadership and the thought of something new and different. But I loved being a part of this growing and ever-changing community. We started out not knowing each other at all, and we have grown into one of the closest groups I have ever been a part of. For example, the first night of Coastal Expedition, we were standing in a circle, singing random songs that everyone knew, and we were united, and it was so powerful. I will never forget that night. Every time I hear those songs, I will think of that night at the trailhead. This story of the first time I ever called the farmhouse home represents me climbing my way up the summit. When we went on the snowshoeing trip, we were all getting back in the vans, and I said, "Now we get to go home." I paused and corrected myself quickly. "I mean the farmhouse." And then others started making the same mistake. Later at Closing Circle, someone said that their high from the day was someone calling the farmhouse home. It is natural to call a place you're returning to home, so that would explain why I said it. It seemed natural in the moment, and now I know that CSG is my home. It is possible to have 2 homes. A home is a place filled with memories, a place where you can return time after time. Home is a place where you can have cuddle puddles anywhere, a place shared with the people you love so deeply and unconditionally. CSG definitely became home to all of us. A surefire way to build community is to put people in a very small living space and make them eat, sleep, and work together. Where there is minimal personal space, and where there is, it is almost never observed. This is CSG. This is community. When we first got here, everyone was still a little timid. We always asked before sitting on anyone's bed. Here's an example of what happens at this point in the semester. The other day, I felt like sitting on a top bunk, so I chose the cleanest one and climbed in. I often hang out in the big bunk room, and more often than not, Sophie's bed is not even possible to get into. So I crawled up into Emma's bed without asking and stayed there for a while. Or when Kate gets up after lights out to go to the bathroom, Bunny will crawl into her bed and pretend that no one is there. When Kate comes back, she is sometimes startled by the small human that was concealed under her covers. These are some of the harmless examples of how personal space is ignored here at CSG. These have helped to strengthen our community, because you see, there are two ways you can handle the stress of living in close quarters. One is keeping it all bottled up inside, which leads to frustration and rage. Or you can skip that altogether and confront head-on what is making you tick, which takes vulnerability and strength and helps to bring the group even closer together. I think the reason we have such a tight community is the level of vulnerability we all bring to the group. In this group, I feel that I have been more vulnerable than I have been in any other group. If it wasn't for CSG, I would have never learned that vulnerability is the key to connection, and because of this, I feel connected to everyone on a deeper level. I feel comfortable sharing anything with them because I know they would do the same. This represents me at the summit. Here I have learned that vulnerability is the key to connection, and that connection leads to a compassionate community. Our community can be compared to the coming of spring. When we got here, there was excitement, but little of the deep connection that we all share now. It was cold and gray, but beautiful. Then, as we progressed, our surroundings did too. We gained vulnerability and deep connection, and the grass became greener, and the flowers began to bloom with us. Now, the outdoors couldn't be any greener, and our community couldn't be any more connected. As the seasons changed, so did our community. While at CSG, I found new passions, and I figured out how I can turn these passions into action after CSG. Therefore, this represents me on my descent down from what I have observed above as I return to the lower regions. I found that I am really passionate about feminism. I would like to inspire young girls and let them know that the media isn't everything and that they are perfect just the way they are. When we watched Misrepresentation, I saw how horrible the media really was. That inspired me to act in my community and to make change. I remember when I was in middle school and I thought high schoolers were so cool. I looked up to them a lot. I want to use this pull I have to be a more prominent role model to middle school girls, to help them to be confident in who they are and to have no shame. I am also interested in service and helping people. This is why I would like to join AmeriCorps after high school and before attending college. I discovered this while volunteering at Preble Street with CSG and seeing how many people are in need. I just noticed how much I enjoyed helping people. Something about seeing the joy on their faces gave me joy as well. I also find joy when I am a part of a team that accomplishes really difficult things. I love that feeling that I get afterwards. This is another one of my passions, like when we had to hike 16 miles in snowshoes in freezing cold conditions, and seeing the hut and just erupting into shrieks of happiness because we made it. And that brought us closer together. In order to take action, I must strive to create a cohesive community in my hometown and in my AmeriCorps team to maximize the impact we have on the world and have endless fun while doing it. Community is the key to making long-lasting impact on the world. Because I started with someone else's words, I would like to close with my own. Here's a poem I wrote during solo on the 28th of May. The waves lap gently against the shore. The water fades from murky brown to brilliant blue. Two sailboats sit tethered to their moorings. A cloudy mist far away obstructs my vision of the land that can only be seen on a clear day. The birds bring life to the field with their chitter-chatter. There is tall grass all around as I sit on the edge of the field. I will miss this. I will miss it all, from walking here in the rain, snow, sleet, or shine. I will miss sitting here. I will miss the fun we had here. I will miss Little Bunk Room Goodnight. I will miss seeing all of your beautiful faces every day. I will miss the laughter gained from every 8 o'clock moment. I will miss this each and every day. I will remember it every time I hear the birds sing or feel the warmth of the sun on my face. Every time I see little kids looking for green crabs on the shore. Every year when winter turns to spring. Every time I feel the anticipation from the leaves who are returning once more. I will remember this when I could reference an inside joke, but no one else around me would understand. I will remember this every time I use the skills I gained here. I will remember this each and every day.